Hey, it's that time of year again. MIIC Mastery is now open for applications. Head on over to momisincontrol.com. Check it out, fill out the application, and we'll let you know the next steps. This year we have 2 tiers of the program, Mastery and Soul Elite. Both, as always, are created off the 4 MIIC pillars to help you redesign the life that your soul is craving. The conscious parenting, energetic time management, emotional intelligence, and creating more ease and flow in your life. And if your gut is screaming out at you to apply, now is the time, because Mastery and Soul Elite don't actually start until September, which means any time from now until then is bonus time. Bonus time that is added to your contract. So you can get one-on-one access with me, jumpstart on the modules, and get yourself into the community. That said, when September comes, you're not going to be scrambling. You're going to be ready to go because you've prepared and magic is already happening. So how do you get started? Head on over to momisincontrol.com for more information. Also, wanted to give you a little heads up that, as you know, I've been busting my booty to create free weekly content for you guys over the last few years, and I've barely had any sponsors. That said, in the next few weeks, you're going to hear me talk more about the Mastery and Soul Elite programs, and I'm also going to be sharing some of my client testimonials with you. And if this is something that doesn't interest you, that's totally okay. Just skip forward a few minutes at the beginning of each podcast, and just know I appreciate you. All right, let's dive in. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? Sigmund Freud. All right, guys, we're back. I'm back. I'm here. Changing things up a little bit, as always, just doing what I feel called to do. So I'm going to be doing a few interviews. I'm going to be doing just some reflections on what I'm going through and what I feel or see women going through, and reflecting on how far I've come through this journey. And it's quite amazing. There is no arriving. There's never arriving. You're never done. It's a constant evolution. And as you grow, what you wanted, what lit you up a year ago might no longer light you up. And you evolve, you change, right? And you have to dig deeper. There's this creativity and this journey within, as they call it, where we're seeking guidance from other people, right? People are always like, Heather, help me. And I'm like, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to show you what you might not be able to see. But I am not here to do the work for you. Nobody can do that. So where does a thought go when it's forgotten? This quote hit me. I was looking for a quote about our thoughts, because what fascinates me, and I've always been obsessed with the idea of why do people do what they do, right? Any of us who have ever fell in love with psychology and human behavior, it's like, why do people do what they do? I love brain development. I love personalities. I love psychology. I love the nature versus nurture debate. Oh my gosh, it all fascinates me. And there's so much. And I believe as human beings, we're so intelligent and we want to know we want to be able to solve our own problems, but I do believe there is this higher power that kind of looks down on us and giggles sometimes, like, oh, there they go again, trying to solve their own problems. Why don't they just surrender and understand that we got everything under control over here? So anyways, the reason why I brought up this quote of where does a thought go when it disappears is because it's a thought. Right? It's just a thought. And when I'm talking to a woman, and many women have been applying for the Mastery program, and I'm reading their applications, and some of them already like qualify themselves or disqualify themselves by saying, I can afford it, I can't afford it, I'm in, I'm not in, I just filled out this application because you told me to. And I look at those applications and I think, why did she apply? She's already disqualified herself, right? And it reminds me of the thought process that people have of like, why even try if you're going to fail, right? Because the fear of failure is so prevalent that it's like, well, why even try? Because I'm afraid I'm going to fail. And then on the other hand, I'll get an application from a woman and I could just tell like she is on fire. Good, bad, ugly, right? Like it doesn't have to be a great scenario, but she is committed to making shit happen in her life. And it lights me up and I'm like, yes, 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 right? And we can be scared, we can be afraid, we can be all of those things. But I always ask myself, what is the difference? And it all comes back to personal belief. I mean, you need to have the right recipe, meaning, their personality is in alignment with who you are as a coach, and the timing and the connection and, the resources that somebody's looking for. But when you're ready and you're so done with your own bullshit, the bullshit is your thoughts, right? Is it true? Like, what is a thought, guys? What is it? It's this imaginary construct of the mind. And unless you write it down on a piece of paper or verbalize it with your lips, nobody knows it exists but you. No one. Think about that. I could literally, as I'm speaking, I have a million thoughts running through my mind. I'm actually staring at a hole in my wall where a screw used to be, and I'm thinking about, oh, we should patch that up. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that, as I'm speaking to you. And nobody would know that I had that thought unless I write it out or I verbalize it. So there's stories here. We all have a story. We have things that have happened to us in our past, and we carry the thoughts. We carry the trauma trapped deep in our bodies and in our beings. So when someone says to me, my goal is to stop yelling. I want to stop yelling at my children. I want to really figure this out. I want to understand how I can support them. And I want to go to bed knowing that I am enough, that I am not verbally abusing my children, emotionally abusing them. How do I do that? Where do I start? And all the resistance that we have about going after our dreams or becoming the person that we know we were meant to be is stopped because of a thought. And the thought is manifested from a belief. So if you truly believe at your core that you are a worthless piece of crap and you have no purpose on this earth and that the world would be better without you, your lifestyle is going to project that. How you respect yourself is going to project that. How other people respect you, including your children and partner and other people around you, it is going to be projected. You're going to see that. It's a reflection. And so recently, my big thing that I'm working on right now is self-commitment and self-devotion. Like when I say I have a goal, like, okay, I want a goal of relaxing more. I want a goal of working 20 hours a week. I want a goal of, feeling my goal right now. One of the things I'm working on is feeling really, really good in my body. So that is physical exercise and that's eating, right? So I've been through this journey of shifting the food and then just making a simple daily practice of exercise. And by default, things are shifting. I feel better in my body. But there's so many beliefs and stories that I have to let go of and become aware of. And some of them are, what it means to work out. I don't need to kill myself to work out every day. I can show up 50, 60, 70%, get a good sweat, and some days get more of a good sweat than others. I don't need to lose weight just to meet societal's body expectation. But I can, for a long time, I actually felt shame about wanting to work out and feel good in my body because a result of that was I would look better. And when I say better, like quotations around that. And therefore, people would judge me about the way I look. When the truth was, self-commitment and saying, I just want to feel really, really good in my body. I want my body to be really healthy, and I'm just going to continue on this journey. And the side effect of that is, yes, my body's going to change. Yes, the way I eat is going to change. Yes, I'm going to have to say no to things when I'm invited to them or when I'm out in public and people say, do you want to drink? Do you want to eat this? And I say no. And then I got to deal with the peer pressure of, well, why don't you drink? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because I don't want to. And I understand the difficulty, the resistance that we have as individuals because we're all struggling with it of not being able to say no. But it's just a thought. If the thought is, they're going to judge me, it's just a thought. Where does it go when I actually let go of it? It leaves my body. It leaves my brain. It leaves my being. And that's why so many people escape from things. That's why TV is so popular and Netflix. And that's why drinking and drugs are so popular. Because we're trying to numb out, to relieve our thoughts, to relieve our beliefs. But it's in this discomfort, getting through it, the discomfort and going, is all of this bullshit that is overwhelming in your mind, is it true? And then we go, and you operate from this hamster wheel that has absolutely no significance to it. And you catch yourself going, how did I get here? What action was it that I took that got me here? So who do you want to be? There's a difference between saying who you want to be and what you're committed to doing. And that's really what I'm diving into is commitment. Are you committed to your relationships? Which ones? Are you committed to getting out of debt? Yes or no? Are you committed to feeling better in your body? Or are you afraid that you've never known who you are without the heavy weight on your back? It's just a thought. Who would you be without that thought? Where does the thought go when it's forgotten? People will judge, they will project, they will, more than ever, I'm beginning to realize that, okay, you stay small, you stay in status quo, and everybody around you is still judging you, by the way, whether it's to your face or behind your back, still judging you, or in their thoughts, still judging you, but their judgment is just a thought. And it keeps you small. It's manipulative. This is part of our ancestral brain that keeps us together. But when you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good anymore, I want to leave, I want to go, you start to break free from it. It's not in alignment anymore. And then you grow and you evolve, and then people judge you because you're not part of the tribe anymore. And then when you're not part of the tribe and you're growing, sometimes they come back and they go, you look so happy. Tell me, what are you doing? And there's a moment then when you decided that I'm not going to believe this thought anymore that I can't figure this out. Or I'm not going to believe this thought anymore that I suck. Or I'm not going to believe this thought anymore that I'm a worthless piece of shit. I am is very powerful. I am free. I am strong. I am brave. I can do this. I can figure this out. I can. It's just a thought. I can and I can't. One is not better than the other. It's just a thought. So, I understand that this experience, this life experience, is very temporary. Just past week, my friend's brother-in-law passed away from a head-on collision. And every day when I'm on Facebook, I see someone else has passed. This life experience is temporary. And yet, you don't live like that. We get caught up in the minutia of what does not make a difference. So it's about becoming annoyingly intentional. I've said this before, annoyingly intentional. What do you want? And if you don't know where to start, I don't want this. What do you want? What is the thought process that you have to have? What is the belief system that you need to carry? What actions do you need to take? And are you committed? Are you committed to doing that? And then you put a big piece of duct tape over your mouth. You shut up. And you observe your behavior. Is my behavior in alignment with my goals? Or is the belief that I can't do this or that I am not enough leading the way? And I'm here to tell you, you cannot, will not do it alone. It doesn't have to be me. You don't have to hire me. But you can't do it by yourself. You need to ask for help. There are 6, and guys, I don't know how many freaking people are in the world, but they say 6 billion or 7 billion. I should Google it. There's over 6 billion people on this planet because, someone went up to each door and said, how many people live here? 6 billion people on this planet. And you're telling me you can't freaking find a babysitter so you can go to yoga? 6 billion people. And you are telling me that you cannot find a job because you're not making enough money? 6 billion people on this planet, and you're telling me that nobody loves you. Think about it. When you're too in your head, believing those thoughts, just look up to the sky and think, holy shit, my thoughts are so insignificant. Where do they go when they leave my brain? Poof, they're gone. They must change into something else. Where do they go? But what does matter is your soul. Because your soul and your heart is, that gut instinct. That's what's connecting us all to each other. That's the magic of what I do when I'm just speaking my truth on my computer and then I hit submit and someone says, Heather, I need to work with you. My guts are screaming out that you are the one. And I go, what the fuck? That is awesome and creepy and cool. And then when I have a retreat and women from all over the world fly to collaborate, I'm like, what brought us here? What called somebody to get on an airplane and fly around the globe to come collaborate with a group of like-minded women collectively? It blows my frickin' mind. And it scares the shit out of me in a good way. That just by being me and not believing all the thoughts that run through my mind, and every day having to show up, do the work, and some days feeling, these thoughts are going to get the best of me. But by continuously showing up, by speaking my truth, it helps other women do the same. And it helps them connect with their truth. It helps them connect with their children. Helps them connect with their partners, their purpose, their art, their creativity, the work that they truly want to be doing in the world. That is magic. And all I'm doing is speaking my truth beyond fear. Knowing that I'm being judged for my words, and that's okay. I'm not perfect. So this is your invite. This is your call to what truth do you want to be speaking in the world? What is your soul saying? Wake up. Listen to me. It wants to be heard. It wants to be expressed. Because if it's not expressed, it's going to leave your body and you're going to feel numb. So I am here to bring you back to life. And if I have to give you mouth to mouth or put a defibrillator on your chest, I will. I've done it before, metaphorically speaking. We got to pump some air back into those lungs. Bringing the air through the belly with your inhales and exhales. Bringing your soul slowly back to life, giving you little sips of water until you feel strong enough to take your first bite of solid foods and eat your own meal and make your own difference in the world. Your soul matters. All right, guys, if you feel called, connected, you've been listening and following me. I know I haven't talked a lot about the structure and strategic parts of the Mom is in Control Mastery or Soul Elite program, but it's by application only. So head on over to momisincontrol.com. There is a PDF on that page under the video, and that's where it gives you, the structure of how the programs are laid out and things like that. Just simply fill out the application. What happens from there is I personally read and respond from your application. So if I have more questions, then I'll just email you back and let you know what those questions are. If you move on to the next step and I'm like, awesome, you've taken the time to fill this out, yada, yada, then you'll get on the phone with somebody on my team just to make sure it's a good fit. My team members have been through the program, so they know how, obviously, they can probably give you a better perspective as well because it's not me. So they're going to tell you their perspective of how I coach and how I can best serve you. And if it's a good fit from that point, then you can get registered and jump on in. Mastery and Soul Elite, the second round or the next round starts in September. So now is a great time to jump on board. You'll get all the additional bonus time with me. So you'll still get coaching with me. And this is just additional time. So the sooner you jump in, the better. So at this point in the game, you're getting about additional $1,500 worth of coaching and support. And then officially the program will start in September and your 8 months will start from there. And 10 months for Soul Elite. So if you guys are ready, Head on over to momisincontrol.com, fill out the application, and we'll chat soon.